All right, we're live again. Joe and Mike, buildassetsonline.com. Today, what do we do? I don't have a good hook right now. We're doing an Ask Us Anything inspired by a Reddit thread that we were mentioned in that was brought up to our attention from someone in our community. I don't know. I don't know how else to say that.
That's really all there is to say. I mean, yeah, I figured we go live. There was a Reddit thread brought to us by Graham, our lovely community member, talking about how somebody did 720,000 in sales in the last 365 days. And I said to myself, well, that's all good and dandy, but that's really not that impressive when it comes to high ticket dropshipping.
You're gonna just start
What am I
saying,
doing?
I don't know. Listen, he's proud of himself. What did we do
He
our
should be
first
proud
thing?
of himself. He should be proud of himself, but I don't think that is a number to go around, you know, shouting from the heavens and claiming authority over drop shipping.
Listen, he wasn't claiming authority, Mike. He was
He's
just saying,
the authority is baked in when you post on Reddit and start answering people's questions because people are now going to look to you as an authority. And so, listen, I'm happy for him or her. I'm extremely happy. And I want everybody to do well in online business so they can quit their job and do whatever they like in this
yeah,
world. So, nothing against this person, but I figured we give our own spin because, listen, Joe, they did 720,000 in the last 365 days. We're already at that. We're already at 1 million this year. So
I know, but Reddit,
we got something to add.
the vibe is like, it's a community. We're all trying to figure this out. I'm not one of these shiny gurus like Mike here talking down to people. I'm just a regular person like you on this Reddit dropshipping thread trying to figure out what's going on here. So that's the vibe that I got. And he's trying to let's see. He doesn't even have a call to
I have a
action.
problem with Reddit in general, but
Okay.
I think that's what they try to be. And listen, no, I'm not going to Reddit bash right now. Let's just share our screen and jump right into it. But this is an Ask Us Anything in general for our YouTube community. So if you have questions, please submit them over in the chat here. We got Justin.
Yeah.
Long time no talk, Justin. He says,
the,
yo,
pro-
yo.
the problem I have with Reddit when it comes to stuff like this, especially, is that I feel like it's almost like the blind leading the blind.
That's what I'm trying to say, Joe. And you already shot me down. You already shot me down.
I'm just trying to get into their headspace.
That's always good. You always have to put yourself in the other person's shoes. That's what I say. And when it comes to talking to customers as well with dropshipping, I mean, that's the main thing. People always ask us about sales. And to me, sales is just putting yourself in their shoes and just mimicking what they do. If they call and they talk to me with a Southern accent, I might start putting on a little twang. Anything just to get on their level.
You mentioned you have when you're talking to someone from a different region, you might modify the way you say your name.
Yeah, if I'm talking to somebody, on the East Coast, I'm Mike. If I'm talking to somebody in the Deep South, maybe I'm Mac. So
there you have it.
And then you just ask them questions. So, but yeah, while we're waiting for people on the YouTube to ask questions to us, I figured we would go through this here and respond to some of these questions people are already asking.
This kid's only 19. Good for him. And hopefully he's doing it in a profitable way. Maybe we'll find out as we no, we'll find out what his possibly what his profits are. What's your business? He doesn't reveal it. Everybody knows that. Blah 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 blah.
The hardest part is finding a niche. These posts about their success without helping find a niche is frustrating.
I don't think so. I see. That's I think a problem people have, like, mentally, is that they got to find the perfect niche, and that shouldn't be a barrier from starting, because like we've talked about, it's not so much the niche, it's that your store can encompass a bunch of different product lines and that you can test a bunch of different things until you succeed. And even the ones that don't succeed should be minor successes, because you're running your ad account in a way where you're not losing money. You're getting clicks that are bid in such a way so if you get one sale out of a couple thousand clicks over the course of a few months, it's going to pay for itself or be profitable. So that's really what it's all about compared to finding the perfect niche, in my opinion.
Yeah, the niche thing we've talked about, ad nauseum, literally. Inside the course, we have videos where we dissect the store we sold for $133,000. We have videos where it's like you over the shoulder with a spreadsheet coming up with just like an infinite amount of ways to find products.
Yeah.
But yeah, to state it simply, as Joe said, you just make a store that you can house multiple product types in. Like, it's not just, all right, I'm going to pick this one thing and I'm going to go with it. And maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. It's like your store should be set up based on your domain name and based on the angle you're going to go after, as we say. It should be set up from success right there before you ever even contact a supplier. And
do you run Facebook ads or pure organic? He says he does Google and Bing ads, SEO, bottom of the funnel approach for now. He's got the correct approach for starting out. You got to go with what people are searching for when they're in the moment of buying, aka the bottom of the funnel.
Right. And again, just to put that in perspective with the whole niche thing, like if you think about it just from a brand level, if you say, all right, I'm going to sell, I don't know, tents. There's only so many tent brands that exist that are going to have search volume. But if you make your store more around camping or outdoor trekking, or I don't know, like something more like Dick's Sporting Goods, make your store like Dick's Sporting Goods. Think about how many different product types and brands Dick's Sporting Goods has. You could be Joe's Sporting Goods. And now you can go after all these different related products, whether it's tents, whether it's fishing rods, whether it's stuff to put on your truck. So now you can sleep in your truck. I don't know. And all these different product types are going to have suppliers, and each of these suppliers are going to have brand demand. They get searched 100 times a month on Google, or they get searched 1,000 times a month. And you're just tapping in bottom of the funnel here, bottom of the funnel there for all these suppliers. And it's easy to hit these numbers he's showing.
This person asks, hey, congratulations on your success. Did you start with branded drop shipping? If not, when did you start manufacturing your own products? I'm very new to this and trying to understand the process. Finding products on AliExpress and selling them just doesn't sit right with me. I feel like I should brand it, improve it, etc. Maybe I should start slow. How is your process? Thank you for giving the opportunity to ask questions.
Oh,
this is a little bit phrased a little bit weird. It's interesting that this guy is saying he's doing branded drop shipping. Is this guy even doing high ticket drop shipping?
When you go up and you look at their orders, they had like 260 orders for 720,000 in sales. If you scroll up,
I'll just take your word for it. So that does seem pretty high ticket. You cannot start a general store. Amazon with branding, you can only connect. So he's not necessarily saying in this response that I feel like these two are talking past each other, these two comments. I think the guy asking the question, he's saying, are you branding your own products? And this guy is saying branded all the way, but he's just meaning that he's not starting like a general type store like Walmart or something. He's probably doing like the Dick's Sporting Good angle or something that you just said. I don't know if we want to read this whole comment, but just to get to the first guy's question.
Maybe this guy is only doing like when they say branded store.
Oh, he clarifies here. He says he's doing some private label. So he is making his own.
But it's his own brand. It's not like when we talk about brands, we're talking about selling other people's brands.
Right. That's the way we do it. This guy in this Reddit success thread is talking about private label, focusing on quality over quantity. He has a factory contracted out to where he's making something under his own.
I'm very lucky and fortunate. I found my niche through luck and trial and error. And started with many different niches, failed, diverted, tried again, then hit the correct niche. As the more I analyzed and ran my store, the more I saw a gap in the market. And I feel like this type of thing scares people because people don't want to fail.
Yeah, I feel like also this is a pretty crazy way to go about it, because like, I don't know, the way that we talk about doing it, where you're selling other people's brands that have search demand built in, which is the bottom of the funnel approach he's talking about. Not only does it have the product demand, like someone searching for a swing set, but it also has the brand demand, like someone could be searching for a gorilla swing set. If you private label things out of the gate, the only way you can get a sale is if someone searches for a swing set, unless they've heard of your brand, which they
Well,
most likely
so this is
haven't.
interesting, actually. This is interesting because he said bottom of the funnel traffic, and we may be misinterpreting what he even means about that, because bottom of the funnel could just mean that they're going after like swing set with 2 swings, or swing set, you know, I don't know, with
Yeah,
stainless steel, whatever. Like a generic keyword that's pretty intent based. Versus when we
yeah,
talk about bottom of the funnel, I'm usually thinking of like a branded, like you said, like Gorilla Play Sets is like a brand name for swing sets, right? So Gorilla swing set.
yep,
So versus like in the normal dropshipping world, people are going to want to run like Facebook ads, and if you're selling a swing set, then that means if you're going top of the funnel, you have to be showing Facebook ads for just maybe their parents, maybe like you have to figure out all these weird demographics and hope that they're in the market for a swing set, or like convince them through marketing to buy a swing set, when that's actually super difficult. And yeah, you could just contact Gorilla Play Sets, say, hey, I want to sell your swing sets, and then just run ads to show up for Gorilla swing set. Like,
yeah. So this next question is asking, good stuff, dude. TikTok, Facebook, or Google ads? And he's asking what the Facebook campaign structure looks like. And this guy replies again that it's Google ads. He's got one standard shopping to test out our recent projects. I think he meant products. One PMax and one search ads. So pretty interesting that he's using PMax in there. People do claim it's has some relevance for e-commerce, given that you have sales data in there, so it actually has a something to optimize against. But we don't use any PMax, nor do we recommend it at this point.
yeah, I really am scared of PMax because the one thing you don't want to sacrifice when it comes to Google ads is control. Because I frankly, I just don't trust Google enough to deliver the result that I want. Like going back
It's
to the Gorilla Playset example, like I know if I pick up 10 brands and I just get branded searches for those things, then I'm going to get some level of success, and then I can iterate from there. If I just send it into the black box, that's PMax, where you don't really have control over the keywords you show up for, you don't have control over specific product bids, you really don't have control over anything, then it's either it works or it doesn't. And that's not the way we want to play the game. We want to play the game that if it doesn't work, there is usually a reason why, and we can fix it.
Yeah. So I don't want to get too far off on a tangent about the way Google and PMax works. What I will say, I'll tell you guys something interesting. So for one of our other businesses, we do like lead gen, and we basically rent out the sites and sell the leads, blah blah blah. Yeah, from talking with other people, I've never really tried this myself, but if you try to do PMax for lead gen, like if you try to send someone to a form that says like, hey, fill this out and get a quote to get a new driveway or something. If you do that via PMax, you're basically just optimizing for the person to fill out the form and land on the next page. So a bot can do that. And so the Google PMax network is so huge. There's a lot of like sites on there that are being exploited. So what people were saying is you'll actually end up getting fake leads. Now, a lead is something that can be faked. So if you're going to get one fake lead, it's going to prompt the AI like, oh, we got a lead. Let's do more and more and more of these. And then you're just going to end up with all these trash leads. I will say if you do it for a purchase, and you actually get a purchase, then the PMax AI is, in theory, or it basically has to go and find you other people, other like legit purchases, because it's got that information to optimize around. But if you're doing it for something that's not tangible, a lead or anything where the person doesn't have to take like a pretty serious action, meaning like getting out their wallet or whatever, then I think you're in dangerous territory. But I think for e-commerce, maybe PMax has some sort of place.
Yeah. No. So long story short, there's a lot of bot traffic. When you use PMax, you could potentially have bot traffic just be all your traffic, but bots can't make monetary purchases. So hopefully it can optimize around real people making an actual purchase. I just don't trust it. And then also PMax can cannibalize your shopping ads if they're running for the same product. So it's like, I can't even really test it in good faith because I know it's going to take away from what I already have that's working.
Yeah.
And what I know works. So like, I don't want to touch it. So let's get to a couple questions we have in the actual stream. So Paul said, how many people call in for orders over the phone on your store versus just buying online? Like out of 10 orders, how many are from sales calls versus people buying directly on the store? That's a tough question because I don't take the calls myself. Our VA does it. And I can't always tell if there was a call somewhere along the purchase timeline, right? So they may call, have a couple questions, don't get the sale over the phone, but they hang up, and then a week later that order comes in. So I can't track that. But in short, I guess, how many people called in for orders over the phone on your store? I wish I had a good number. I really don't know. But what I'll say is, two things that can impact call volume are also your price point. So super expensive stuff is going to require more potential calls. People are going to have questions. They're going to need trust built versus, a $100 item. They're going to be more comfortable making that purchase online, etc. And just like complexity of the product, maybe if they have technical questions or whatever, again, may prompt a phone call. But I am of the belief system that you should try to push people towards calling you, or at least live chatting, or at least interacting in some way, so that you can build that trust versus everybody else that's selling that product. So those are all factors that go into it. I wish I had a better answer for you. PJ said, lads. Yes. Mark Walsh, what are the profit margins on that mill you made since 2025 began? That 1 mil is definitely nothing to sneeze at. Well, I would say ad spend on that is probably the last 2 months, whatever, call it 70,000. And then margins themselves, I got to look back at last year's P&L and see what our average profit margin was. But I think if we call it 20%, to be fair, then call it 20%. So
yeah, I just did stuff for our taxes, so I'm trying to think back to last year how exactly it was. I would say I feel like 20%. What was the revenue last year in terms of the sales? Do you remember?
I think it was in the 5 millions.
Okay. Yeah, I would say that that's pretty accurate, 20%. We do have some like employees and stuff like that would obviously bring that cost down, but or bring the profit down. But yeah, around 20%, I think is what we're working with. Maybe we should do a breakdown of the books from last year. But once I do them, I don't want to open them again.
I feel you on that.
It's like it's such a dread, but it would be interesting.
Justin said it's probably on the higher end as they have a lot of SEO traffic as well. Yeah, but really, I look at the SEO traffic as just like a bonus, and I will still try to operate as like with the 10x return on ad spend rule. So as long as we're hitting at least 10x return on ad spend in our ad account, I'm happy, and I'm gonna even try to like push towards getting it close to there, because it's just so hard to track stuff these days. Like, again, customer clicks, maybe they call, and then maybe they get sent a quote, and then maybe they wind up buying from that quote a week later, and it's like the conversion pixel doesn't record it. So all we can tell is there's a direct correlation between traffic and sales. Higher traffic equals higher sales. And yeah, so like if we do 500,000 in sales in a month, as long as our ad spend is under 50,000, meaning over a 10x return on ad spend, right? 50,000 in ads, 10x return on ad spend equals 500,000 in sales. As long as we're doing better than that, then I know we're in a good place. So, what are your margins like with suppliers? I think we've kind of answered this. 20 to 30%. I mean, could even 10 to 30%, call it, because some suppliers have worse margins. So, yeah, as long as we're getting at least 10%, I'll take it. But that's not like ideal. So.
Apparently, we were mentioned in this thread, so I'm trying to find that.
For real? How do you know?
Because that's what Graham said.
Oh, he probably mentioned us.
No, I don't think it was him.
Search like bald.
Why don't you do another question while I look for this?
We're out of questions.
We're out of questions?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, let's go.
Let's look at this thing. Yeah.
Hello there. Congratulations, dear sir. Constant improvement always seems to... Oh, where did it go? Okay, so constant improvement always seems to pay off. I also thinking, would you mind sharing the amount you started with? I'm also thinking into branding the products, but I don't have enough capital now. Would it be safe to brand the samples after receiving a few orders to start selling the branded products, even if the first few won't be branded? What would the advantages be of a private agent? Would they help with the branding of the products? And maybe a faster shipping method compared to AliExpress, Alibaba.
So this is some real deal, like sending stuff in from China type drop shipping that they're doing.
Yeah, maybe it's the dolls, the adult dolls.
Could be. How do you brand that?
Just say Mike's adult dolls. I don't know.
Yeah. People are going to be upset. It doesn't say that on the package when they get it.
I started with $5K, $2K my own money, $3K with credit card debt. This specific process is called back ordering. Make sure the customer knows before buying. He's describing what this person did to sending.
Right. So yeah, this is the original poster. So they started with $5,000, $2,000 of their own money, $3,000 in credit card debt. How do you feel about that, Joe?
I don't feel good about it. I feel like what this guy is doing is operating on hard mode, to be honest with you. The more I read this thread.
So maybe we got to give him more respect than I originally thought. The 750,000 as a 19-year-old getting into products from China and branding them his or herself. So it is commendable, but it's just a bad business. They even said like they failed a bunch of times. So I'm even wondering if they're including that failure into their starting capital, or if that was just the starting capital for this new venture.
Yeah.
Versus, we always say this, Joe, when we first started doing high ticket drop shipping, we literally put like $2,000 in the bank, and then that was it. The rest was history. So,
yeah, you know what the issue with this is? With what he's doing, and this, obviously I don't know what his store is, but it's basically what he's saying is that he's working directly with factories that are able to brand the packaging. These factories have more connections than so he is dealing directly with the factory. I don't know if it's factory or factories. I can't tell. He says multiple, but I can't tell if it's one or multiple. But I feel like the issue with doing things this way, especially unless you're, have deep pockets and whatever, you have a lot of connections. One problem with one of the factories, you're kind of in a pickle now because now you have nothing else to sell. But with what we described earlier, where you're selling other people's brands, first of all, they're the ones responsible for dealing with the supply chain and supply chain issues. So that's kind of off your hands. Second of all, you're casting a broader net to where if one of these brands goes that has problems, which we have definitely experienced, then you have a bunch more. So
that is actually funny that the way that you just said that. This 19-year-old is trying to master the entire supply chain from beginning to end, which is really difficult. Like the suppliers that we work with, they just focus on the manufacturing part of the supply chain. They work with, the people in China or wherever they are. They bring them in, and then they rely on dealers like us to go ahead and move it for them. Yep. So to ask a kid to go ahead and find the right product, deal with getting it branded, deal with getting it manufactured, having it sent overseas, having it fulfilled, like, and the marketing and, everything that goes along with building that, like, that's a lot to do. And so it'd be much easier if they just did it our way, just found real US suppliers, called them, and then just started selling that stuff.
He says here he's implementing his own shipping logistics to get the products from factory to our US warehouses, where we don't even what we do, we just pretty much input the tracking info that the supplier gives us.
And barely. Like I don't even know what happens half the time. We have so many unfulfilled orders, not because we don't actually send them in, but like our VA like doesn't do it for some reason, or like she misses it. So really, we just like collect the sales. So yeah, that's the whole. It's just such a mess. It's just such a mess, and you could play such an easier game by going and finding a U.S. supplier with branded demand, running Google ads for that brand, and then just collecting the profit when you sell it. And you don't have to worry about every single aspect of the manufacturing process, supply chain, marketing. Like if one part of that breaks, your entire business is screwed. Not to mention, you're probably investing more and more money to get more stuff made, more stuff shipped. So if something goes wrong, you're going to be left holding the bag, literally.
I found it where this guy praised us here, which is kind of surprising because he's not even doing what we're teaching.
Wow.
I would like to talk to this guy.
We're so important, Joe.
I want this guy on the show.
Fund department. Hit us up.
Congratulations.
What is this guy? This he's completely ignoring everything we stand for.
Well, he did take our advice about the bottom of the funnel stuff. And I would argue that everything, that's probably the most important thing, because he clearly just found something that has bottom of the funnel demand through all of his failures, and then was like, okay, I see a way to capture this bottom of funnel demand that no one else is capturing.
Right. And, we keep talking about making videos about this, but on our old store, we had a lot of bottom of the funnel generic demand for a couple of different products. This was a store that we sold for $650,000. And that's really what made the store so successful, honestly. Granted, we were selling, we were dropshipping it our way. But then what happened was, after we sold the store, the manager on that store copied the store, made his own, and then he private labeled from China some of those products. So,
well, yeah, we definitely had talks of, well before we sold the store, we were thinking about private labeling this stuff ourselves, which, maybe it's probably better. It's probably better that we didn't, to be honest with you. But
no, because not to divert the topic of this video, but with the land investment aspect of our portfolio, there's really no point. We've gone over the logistics of importing or, whatever, manufacturing products ourselves. And it's like you bring stuff in just to be left with 20 to 30% margin at the end of the day. And then you have to refunnel that into bringing in more product versus, all right, let's say I make $20,000 high ticket dropshipping. I'd rather take that $20,000, buy a piece of land, flip it for 40. All right, now I just made another $20,000 and cycle the money that way. You get a better return on investment doing land flipping.
Yeah. All roads lead back to real estate. So, oh my God, Google, stop calling me Google. They just call me. They're calling me because I was talking trash about PMax. But
yeah, they heard you.
No, so I'm trying to bust out this drawing thing. I don't want to get too off topic again, but I can't find a drawing thing on my Mac. I forgot what it's called. But anyway,
on topic real quick.
Yeah,
My Sean said, "What is the next level for your guys' store when getting to the 5+ milli mark?" At this level, it's kind of tough. I'll be honest. When you get to, I think in 2023, we got close to 7 million. But then we had like a falling out with a supplier, and then a lot of like SEO stuff kind of, oh my God, Google's calling me too. This is what they do, Joe. They do these blasts.
Yeah.
They do these friggin' blasts. And I know because in the morning, I'll get a call, and then I'll see like 3 of our rank and rent sites got a call, all from Google. Time. Anyway, what the hell was I talking
about? I don't know.
They just completely threw me off my train of thought.
You were talking about 5 million and getting to the next level.
Around 7 million, and then we had a falling out with a supplier. Like the SEO traffic dipped a little bit, the economy, whatever, the election. So when you get to the stage, it's like you've really taken up a lot of the bottom of the funnel stuff, even medium funnel. And so you have 2 options, right? You go towards the top of the funnel, which means more like Facebook stuff and, general, like really getting in front of people before they've even, like when they're very early on in their journey. You could do that. You could go more top, or you can expand the bottom, meaning get more suppliers and then pick off all that bottom of the funnel stuff. And that's kind of where we're at. Like going top of the funnel is not that easy. If it was easy, then all these, like low ticket dropshippers, all these China dropshippers will be making a bunch of money, instead that they're just failing a whole lot. So we kind of, our plan is we slowly work on the top of the funnel stuff. We have like a lot of brands already on our store, so really we have to like make sure that we're not losing out on any bottom of the funnel stuff that we already have. And it's just that's kind of what it is, on top of the fact that we also do other stuff, like we do the land investment, we have other sites, we have the rank and rent business that we that's kind of a side project. But yeah, so I don't know, it's like, how big do you want the store to be? How big do you need it to be? So,
well, now what we're possibly doing is this is something we've also talked about for a while, but never fully executed. Is basically leveraging our current customer base for more sales. So since we do some B2B stuff, we had talks for a while of, okay, these people, they need online marketing, they need websites. And since we got into the rank and rent stuff, they, some of them might need leads. So we've talked about this for a while, but I think now we're on the path to implementing that more. We have a sales guy that's going to be hitting the phones on recent orders and, basically upselling certain types of services like that, and other products as well.
Yeah, because really once you get to this point, you have a mailing list that's tens of thousands of people. The store we sold for $650, that had like a 20,000 person mailing list. But we didn't do anything with it. So like you start to generate all this money you're leaving on the table with just like your existing customer base. And where we're at is trying to go beyond the funnel, where take the people we already have. What else could we serve them with? Kind of like with Build Assets Online, right? We mainly started with just dropshipping, but we were doing a whole bunch of other stuff. We were doing blogging, we were doing land. So, hey, some of these dropshipping people, they want to learn about this, they want to learn about that. So that's kind of where we're at.
Not the easiest thing in the world either.
It's really not, because you're like, the easiest thing in the world, in the online business world, is literally high ticket branded product with existing demand, running ads to that.
Yep.
That is the easiest thing in online business. There's no other way around it. I mean, like, can you think of anything else, Joe, where people can make $1,000 a month? Like,
yeah, no, it's hard to think of something else that's also so sustainable and has the exit stuff built in. That's where I think the magic is.
And if you want to learn more about that exact line of thinking, go to buildassetsonline.com/class. That's our free course where we show you how to build a $1 million plus online portfolio. Because again, it's not just about the business model itself, like how is it making money? It's the overarching strategy. Is it a business you're able to sell? How much are you making on each sale? Like, we really thought this stuff out. We've really tried probably every online business that exists. I would say 90%, I would say, of the popular online business things, we've explored them. And so I think our words hold some weight.
I would hope.
We've succeeded in some things, we've failed in some things, including dropshipping products from China. So I don't know. That's why I see people on Reddit talking shenanigans. I got to step in. But hey, this guy followed some of our advice. So you want to go back to that, Joe? While we wait for some more questions to come in.
Go back to the fact that he called us out, complimented us.
Oh no, no, more questions on the Reddit thing.
Oh
wait, we have one more question here. John Francis, what's up? Would you dissuade someone from ever trying to get back into the game if they fail to break through on a previous attempt? I would say, if you failed on a previous attempt, it's because I'll say you didn't do it right, or I'll say you didn't maybe put in as much effort as you needed to. Maybe you ran out of money. So if you have a few $1,000s saved up that you're prepared to lose, which is key, not that you're going to actually lose it, but you have to be prepared to where if I lose all this money, I'm totally fine, because it allows you to take the appropriate risks. If you're scared that, you spend $300 in ads next month, and if nothing sells, then like you're screwed, like make money the traditional way first. This is a business. It requires some risk, right? And so like what I like to tell people is like, if you can set aside money for a year's worth of ads, I don't care if it's $300 a month, $500 a month, $1,000 a month, and if you lose all that money, you're good. If you stick with it for a year, you're going to wind up being successful. Like, you just have to commit yourself and commit the time, commit some money, a very small amount of money compared to anything else that you could do. And the upside is normally always there. And not to harp on this, last thing I'll say is like, when we start anything and we know it's going to be, we really want to be successful at it, we go all in. Like, I want to be occupying, I want to be dreaming about it. I want to be having nightmares about it because that's how I know we're going to take it over the finish line. You can't half-ass doing something if you want to get the best result out of it. What's the phrase? Yeah. Shoot for the
stars. Shoot for the stars, land on the moon.
There you go.
So that's something we're trying to. Wait, before I get to that, this is always such a common question: is how is that profitable at that low conversion rate? And I'm not going to get into too many details because we said this a million times. Your conversion rate doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
All that matters is the cost of your traffic and your net margin on the products. So obviously, if you can increase your conversion rate, that's good. But at the end of the day, I want to say it's almost like a vanity metric. It's not an exact vanity metric, but it's very, very close to a vanity metric. Because you can have a crazy conversion rate, but it doesn't even necessarily mean you're going to be profitable.
100%.
Say you're a lawyer, right? And you have a 20% conversion rate, but you're paying $2,000 a click. It doesn't necessarily mean that your business is even going to be profitable.
Yeah. Conversion rate is the most bullshit metric ever. This guy's conversion rate was like 0.38. That's fantastic. And if you look at inside of our group, people share their sales. We just had someone post something. I want to see what his conversion rate was. The conversion rates are usually even lower than that. I want to just pull up some examples real quick.
If the thumbnail of this video, what was our conversion rate? I don't even remember.
It's probably ass. But we had Keith post in the group yesterday.
0.1%.
Yeah, Keith just posted a nice sales number in the group from last month. His conversion rate was 0.1% also. It just doesn't matter because it's looking at visitors to the website, leading it to sales. Let's say you're a lawyer, you take out a friggin' billboard, or you're doing a podcast ad. You have a billboard. How many tens of thousands of people are driving past that versus somebody that actually winds up calling you and becoming a client from that? It's probably unmeasurably low.
The only meaningful thing behind it is that it could possibly give you something to improve. Whereas if you split test something and if my button is green or my button is red, I'm going to increase my conversion rate by such an amount. But you got to really test it to verify that. You have to also verify that the quality of the traffic is consistent.
Very well said, Joe. It's a relative metric. It's not an absolute metric.
Yeah. Oh, man. What are we doing? It's been 42 minutes. We got a hard cutoff here. I got to go obsess about something.
I know we took away from your new obsession. Rocket League. No. Vincent says, can you explain your tier 2 ad strategy? Are you just making one negative keyword list with all brand names and then add that to each campaign? Yeah, more or less. We just run two campaigns, one branded, one non-branded, and then we just do it like that. So the tier 2 would be, just like branded level clicks. Tier 1 would be more generic stuff. But the idea is the more generic stuff is going to have a lower conversion rate, but you're going to spend less per click because it's not as high intent. So you bid less, you get more clicks, but you could still get the same cost per conversion. That's why when I was saying at the beginning of this video, I'm looking at how much did we spend on ads? What was our top line revenue? And just as long as you can keep those overarching numbers in check, that's my first step on the checklist. And then I'll dive deeper. Okay, how much did my one campaign spend? And what's that cost per conversion? How much did my other campaign spend? What's that cost per conversion? You can drill that all the way down to the product level, to the device level, to even the search term level. And you have all those dimensions you could work with, try to improve, try to iterate over time, and that will that'll help you scale your store. So, we're at about 45 minutes. We can give people a last call to ask whatever other questions they may have. But
it would be a shame. It would be a shame to sign off considering the views are at their apex right now. But
that's why they got to go to buildassetsonline.com/class, get on the email list, watch our free course, and then really just get in where the action is, because we're a lot more active inside our actual community every day versus YouTube. This is not our main thing.
Do people actually watch on X? It says we have 2 X viewers.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I have no idea either.
I have no idea. Our X is blowing up, I guess. Yeah. This
Yeah,
stuff is
so
fun, but it's like we really just enjoy the actual online business stuff. It's like you almost treat it like a video game in a way.
yeah,
Instead of spitting out gold coins, it's spitting out real gold. But
yeah, we gotta really stay focused on one thing though. It's especially me. We're going in that direction, hopefully. But it's a shame when you have businesses that are like doing well and then they have problems and then you got to tweak them. But I think we're going in the direction of empowering our virtual assistants or trying to empower them to really step it up.
Yeah, we need some severed employees.
Absolutely.
Have some melon parties and yeah.
I think if it was real, I would get it. I would get the chip.
No.
I mean, I'd be scared of the operation, but like I guess I would. Obviously, in terms of the show, it's a little bit, they don't exactly know what they're doing in there. But I feel like if it was actually transparent and you knew what your innie was doing, and it was like on video or something, so you could see exactly, like, say it was like actual, like your innie is an accountant. I feel like you would want to get it, and you knew that they were just doing the IRS forms all day.
I feel like the problem is our businesses is so integrated with like my actual Audi life that I can't distinguish the two. Like I don't really come down into my office and like just do work, and like that's all the work I do. It's like I go upstairs, I got the kid, but I'm still making plays. Like I could be feeding them, I could be making calls. It's like it doesn't it doesn't end for me.
Yeah, but if you could sever off into like multiple personalities, like say you had like a land mailer innie, and you could go in for an hour, and that's all they knew is land mailers. They don't know anything else. I feel like that's what you got to do.
From the perspective of like being able to purely focus on one task, it would be good for that, because really my problem is like losing attention. It's like, because I'll be working on a mailer and then I get a dropshipping thing come in, and like employees having an issue. All right, I got to stop. I got to go look at that, and then I get distracted and I forgot what I was doing with the mail. And so I mean, that's really just about like time management and things of that nature. But
I also want to be able to hire severed employees. I feel like that's really where the magic is.
Yeah, I want to have severed employees. I don't want to be severed.
Yeah.
I want to be Mr. Milchick.
Yeah.
But I guess if no one has any more questions, then we'll just cut it off versus rambling about being severed.
Yep. Let's cut it off. buildassetsonline.com/class.
Free course. See our entire business portfolio strategy and how you can make a $1 million online business portfolio. My dog's starting to bark. But that's it, guys. Thank you for coming along on the stream. You could take it or leave it. But as always, take it ease.
Take it easy.